showing up here. The mission to Seafarers and the Seafarers around the world appreciate your wonderful gifts here. And the most important, of course, is the gift of your time. I don't know many organizations that could gather nearly 100 people on a Saturday to help others pack Christmas gifts, and we really appreciate it. So give yourself a hand. Last year, we did 1,349 Ditty bags. The previous record was 840, and so last year I was hoping for 1,000, expecting 900, and we did almost 1,400. We had some stuff left over, so we gave it to Tent City. And so one of the churches actually from Manasseh sent some stuff late, and another church from Ellisburg. And so I said, I didn't ask their permission, I just said I'm going to get the stuff for Tent City. And the churches responded perfectly. What else do you need? So that's the spirit of our faith and our sense of charity and our sense of community here. And I particularly want to thank the Boy Scouts for coming. I don't know what the heck we do without you guys helping along. So for those of you who don't know, these gifts are handed out starting on Saturday after Thanksgiving. And one of the people giving them out is our driver, Thomas Cook. He works for the Mission of Seafarers, and he is our ship visitor. So he will take these on board, and we'll give them to the seafarers. Usually we give them to the captain, they give them all out at the same time, right? So that everybody will get them. And one of the reasons we have some sort of quality control at the end is we want to make sure everybody gets more or less the same thing. It's pretty disappointing for somebody to get a lot more or a lot different than the rest. So one of my great moments was I had a seafarer who'd been here for 3 years in a row, and we gave him a Ditty bag, and he got a beautiful one, and he handed it back, and he said, "Ken, I feel bad about it." Actually, he called me Big Ken for some reason. Who can explain? And he said, "This bag's beautiful." He said, I'm not a Christian, I'm a Hindu." So I said, "Here, take two." That's the right answer. So we will give them out until we run out. Hopefully we'll give them out into March or April. And then we have a couple of churches that are actually talking about doing a separate event then, and we'll keep giving them out. These all go to merchant seafarers. I've had merchant seafarers who are Christians tell me they've never gotten a Christmas gift. We're the first one to give them a Christmas gift. So think about this. We will all be home about a month from now. And for those of us who go to church, we'll go to church on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and we'll be with their families, and we'll have dinner, and we'll exchange gifts with people that we love and that love us. Well, seafarers will not be home. They work on contracts of 9 months to a year. They're away from their families that long. The typical merchant ship will have 23 to 25 guys on it. Almost all guys. There are very few women that work at sea on merchant ships that come to our port. And that group of 23 or 25 guys will have 8 or 10 different ethnicities, 8 or 10 different faiths, 4 or 5 different levels of personal hygiene. And so you can imagine our greeting and our warm welcome means a lot to each of those folks. So when you pack a Ditty bag, don't think about putting stuff in the bag. Think about making a Christmas gift for someone who is alone and away from his family at a time when you will most likely not be. So we're blessed to do this work. I can't tell you how much fun it is and what a great day this is. And this is one of the highlights of the year for me. And I made a lot of friends through this work. I probably couldn't make them on my own, so I needed help. Somebody asked me a few minutes ago how I got involved and how long I've been doing this. 20 years ago today, or whatever the Saturday before Thanksgiving equivalent was, I started packing Ditty bags with my son James. Janet and a few other folks. Sandy have been doing it as long, and they remember when James was an what some of the Boy Scouts are doing. But I got involved 20 years ago in September when Bishop Choi, who was the executive director of the mission, came and spoke at our church. And he said we needed help organizing the ditty bags. And so my wife elbowed me in the ribs and says, why don't you take the boys down and help pack? Well, we all know that's not really a question. So our boys were 8, 5, and 3, and I took the oldest, James and John, down, and we've been packing ditty bags ever since. And it's really pleasant. The first time we packed them, we packed a little over 100. And for years we packed 300 or so, and then about 7 or 8 years ago we jumped it up to 500. And now we've gone far exceeded that. But the great thing about it is sometime today we will pack a 14,000 ditty bag since I've been working on this. So that's a blessing to me and to the people. So a couple of pieces of housekeeping. One is we'd like for you to sign in here so we can communicate with you. We have a wonderful new assistant. She's the operations person and she does all this stuff. Her name is Cynthia French. Cynthia, will you hold your hand up? Really good. Most of you remember Allison, and Allison retired after 10 years. She has had enough of me. So her husband retired, and they have a house up on Camino, and so she and her husband are spending most of their time there. So we're lucky, very fortunate to find such a capable administrative assistant operations person, and she has lots of skills that we haven't had here, so we're truly blessed to get her. There's some things that explain what it costs to do things. There are donation forms if you want to make a donation or have your church do so. One of the things I would hope I can do is come and speak at your church. Many of you are here because you've heard me speak at the church and tell the Seafarers story, and it's a global connection. It's an opportunity for us to be connected to people from all over the world and all faiths. If you remember, if you're a Christian, you remember in Matthew 25:40, Jesus said, that which you do to these, the least of my brothers, you do to me. So in our baptismal vows, I think it tells us to seek dignity and justice for all. And so this is a chance for us to share with Seafarers in a really positive way. So please sign in. Look at the materials we have there. Make sure we have a way to get in touch with you and your church, because we certainly want to send thank you notes. We will start here with the ditty bags. They're here. We will go through. Aaron, would you get one ditty bag, please? One shampoo, please. One toothpaste. A couple of toothbrushes. A razor. Skip that part for now. A deodorant, a pen and a piece of paper until they run out. I'm sorry.
Scratch some of the little blank books with a pen attached.
Okay, so you got a pen and a scratch book there until we run out. A bar of soap, a deck of cards, a piece or two of candy. Now, this is the big change. So it's a capital offense for violating. We've gotten a lot of sort of miscellaneous donations. So put one shaving cream or one pair of socks or one pair of gloves or one t-shirt and or one scarf. So one of this group, not one of each. Is everybody clear? You got Boy Scouts, you got that one? I expect you to police it. You know, if anybody does anything wrong, throw them to the ground. And then everybody gets one hand-knitted stocking cap. So let me tell you what the caps mean to Seafarers. I've had them cry when we gave them a stocking cap. They can't believe that you folks, we have a lady in North Carolina, we have some people in Minnesota, we have people in Olympia. My dreaded mother-in-law Helen here, she got a little knitting group, and they did 102 hats. All those people have provided hats. We have 7 or 8 little old ladies in Pahrump, Nevada, called the Knitting Nancy's. They did 400 hats for us. and the people at Helen's retirement community and folks from churches all over have sewn hundreds of Ditty bags. So that sense of community is important to us. So the Seafarers can't believe we would give them a gift that comes from the heart that was actually done by hand. It's a terrific, terrific gift. And of course, the person who's giving it probably gets as much or more, as always when you give from the heart. So we put a Ditty bag. Now, the biggest change is, oh, here we go. Mary, you're going to be in charge of that day, okay? So Mary is from St. Clement. St. Clement's used to sponsor this mission. They're up on the hill, and we're going to reignite our relationship with them. But there are 3 pamphlets here. So what happens is seafarers come here, and the captain of the first engineer might say, oh, just dump it overboard. And they violate our environmental laws. So, trust me, I've talked to the prosecutors. They are not interested in prosecuting some poor seafarer. But the seafarer actually makes a big mistake when the people start asking about it. They don't tell the truth. So dumping stuff over the side is a misdemeanor. Lying to federal authorities is a felony. So, how many of you know who Michael Vick is? Yeah. Michael Vick went to jail. Why did he go to jail? Not for dogfighting, for lying to federal officials. So we want to keep seafarers out of that kind of trouble. So the U.S. Fish and Wildlife have made these little pamphlets. They're pretty simplistic, but remember, they have, we have 102 countries represented, so there's some number of languages, although almost all seafarers speak English. We also offer them a card. We're going to ask the seafarers to Twitter or Facebook or write to us and tell us what this means to them and communicate about what the mission does. We're hoping we're going to get 20 or 30 testimonials from around the world, and we'll do that. And we're going to ask some churches to actually get their youth groups to write back to some of these and make stuff. So, and then we have a card. We have cards. A couple of the churches, Sandy Church, Redeemer, Resurrection has spent a lot of time handwriting cards out, so we're going to put them there. So we're going to do this. We'll start the first wave. We're going to pack about 200 or 250 bags. And when you get to the end of all this, we have 5 or 6 people at the far table, and that's our quality control group. So there are several reasons for doing quality control. One is the obvious one, that it needs to be done properly. The second is we want to make sure the tops don't come off, because it doesn't really look good when you open your bag up and it's kind of wet at the bottom of the shampoo. The third thing is that sometimes the ties don't get tied well, and so we leave that to the quality control group. So they're going to take it, and every group of 5, they're going to put it in a plastic bag. And the reason that we do that is that 5 is about as much as you can carry up a gangway and hold on. So Thomas is the one that's going to be taking that. And so we're going to count them out in groups of 5 and put them there. And at the end, a few of the Boy Scouts and a few of us will take the remnants back to, take them all back to our center so we can start giving them out. And then we'll need to clean up and make sure we leave St. John the Baptist, who's a wonderful host, with a wonderful clean place. It's very kind of them. They've been doing this for 7 or 8 years, and we are most grateful. So we're going to get started. We have more. We are really grateful for the kids coming, because that's our future. I'm talking about those of us who've been coming for 20 years or nearly that. I'm the youngest of that group, so we gotta get some kids involved so somebody can do this 10 years from now. So again, thank you very much for your involvement. Could we have a priest in the room?
Only they can.
Only they can. So, could we bow our heads in prayer for a second, please?